All right. Welcome to Cyber Power of Tigray. Tonight we have our amazing Tagaru diaspora to talk about what's happening to our people in Tigray, but of course, the diaspora community here in the United States, what we've been up to, particularly what happened today in Denver, Colorado. So for those of you who saw the flyer yesterday, I am so sorry. We are blessed to have Meleti. I called her actually half hour ago because she was fighting for us, for Tagaru in Denver, Colorado, because they went out there to support genocide in Tigray. And, you know, Zodi and I today, originally we planned to talk about, you know, just to decompress the mental challenges, the physical challenges we've been dealing with. But when I saw that, I was just like, you know what? Let me call her. And you're available. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you do the introduction, please.
Yes, of course. Of course. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Zodi. It's important. Thank you for having me on to talk about the horrific scene that we had today in Denver. I think it's important that we shed light on this. What's happening here. So again, my name is Meleti Brahana Mescal. I live in Denver. I'm a proud Tigrawati, worried about my people just like everybody else, unable to reach family, you know, all of it. So I look forward to having the conversation and telling you all what happened in Denver today.
Thank you so much. And Zodi, I know that we had a different plan today, but we shifted it into what's going on. We were in DC just recently. Obviously, we had an amazing, successful protest. And I think it's important to point out that while we need to keep our mental state, while we need to do self-care, there's obviously beyond that, the atrocity, the genocide in Tigray for 5 months. It's unbreathable, but I'm proud for us, Tagaru, to stand together. And I think the world now is clear what's happening in Tigray. It's not whether or not if. That's long gone. Our goal, of course, is for Eritrean troops to get out of Tigray, for Amhara militia to get out of Tigray, and for the people of Tigray, our people, to get back into their homes and live their life normal. Please introduce yourself. And I know you've been at the show before, obviously, but our new viewers, obviously, we're going to allow them to jump in. They're coming in. Please share also. Cyber Power of Tigray appreciates both of you to come in. So Zodi, I'm going to let you do your unmute and then jump right in.
I did not know I was on mute. Hi, I'm Zodi Redda. As you guys know, I'm the personal trainer that I'll be helping my people. And yeah, so today was supposed to be about a little bit of fitness. We were going to talk about, like I mentioned yesterday in my post, But hey, this is life, right? What we're going through, we gotta mix up everything together, the good, the bad, everything. That's the life we're living. So we have to accept it. We have to stay strong and just kind of keep going forward. We cannot stop. We cannot afford, our people cannot afford us to be weak. So we have to stand like Milita did. You actually went and faced nowadays our enemies. They are what they are, our enemies. You face them. That is, if that's not Tagadalit, I don't know what is. So it's easier when you actually among your own people and protesting, but when you actually facing the enemy, that's huge. I mean, I commend you for that. I mean, proud of you and thank you for doing that. And I'm sure you got to tell us more about your experience, but we want to know more about that. And we can do this and we can stay strong and face them and not get straight. I mean, we're in America, so they can't do anything to us, but still, we're out there. And the fact that you're out there, thanks so much.
Thank you, Zodi. So I know we have a lot of topics to talk about, but let's first and foremost also remind our audience, all of us are bilingual, if not trilingual. So I wanted to mention that we all speak Tigrinya. And so مرات هفتنا
We
بك
speak Arabic
بتقرينيا
too.
بحسن
I'm sure you
بالكي
speak Arabic, right, Mike?
شوية شوية.
شوية شوية.
شوية شوية.
So is مرات هفتنا. She probably picks, she knows شوية شوية. Poquito.
Yeah, everybody
Shukran,
does, right?
Habibi. I know all the good words. I know all the important words.
That's right. And we have to remember to say shukran to Sudan.
That's right.
Shukran.
So,
that's right.
Yes. Shukran jazilan ya Sudani.
That's right. That's right. So I'm curious, like, how are we juggling all this and still able to smile and get it going?
That's such, oh my God, I'm glad you said that because
we're Tagaru, that's why. We're Tagaru.
Exactly. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like we had a car caravan protest, Mike. You came for it. I wasn't even gonna go because I was so tired. We had just come back from DC, New York, and all the time we're always active. We're always, trying to do things to help behind the scenes. Even people don't see that part of it. And I didn't want to go. And there was a young girl in our community somehow, and she's like, I called her to say I wasn't going, like gently trying to give a hint that I wasn't going to be there. And she said, Maliti, Tigray don't get tired. I was like, dang, but it touched my heart. Like it touched my heart in a way. And I was like, you know what? You are right. And it just filled me up. You know what I mean? Like we have that fighting spirit and we're not going to quit. Our families can't quit. They're stuck. So why should we? It's hard though. I'm gonna be honest, it's hard.
Yeah.
You wear this smile when you go to work or in public spaces when you're hurting and breaking inside,
Right.
So it's not easy.
But the strength of Tagara amazes me. So Zodi, I'm gonna let you jump in there, but whether it be through exercise, through the support, I mean, I had actually a number of people wonder how I was doing the DC and New York, back to DC, then to Denver, then home, then to Seattle, then back home. And I had a few people actually checked on me, calling and saying, "Hey, when is the last time you slept?" I am taking naps and I'm sleeping actually, so I want to assure all our people. But it's hard, but it's just like I don't even know how to express it. It's so beautiful to see our people. Just the energy level is still there. We are unbreakable as Tagaro, which is what I love about our unity. Even though they try hard to divide us. So Zodi, like I know you've received some criticism from your followers from the Mahara. There was a video that I briefly interviewed Alula Solomon, and you were in the video briefly, and they took a piece of that, and they've been decimating all over. Actually, it's great because you know what? We were peacefully protesting while they are violent. So you want to say anything about that?
Hey. So, I mean, since I used to work for EBS, as everybody knows, right? So they completely said, I am with junta now, like as if, like that means like I'm Hariti or something, and then I went to with you guys, right? So this is news. I mean, they're trying to get views, obviously. I mean, they got what they wanted. But you know what was great? They didn't insult me. They just said, she's not coming to EBS anymore. I'm not going to EBS, don't worry. I have my own EBS in Tigray. That's what I would do. But
That's right.
the insults were crazy. Some of the insults that I read myself, the comments, but what just motivated me was my friends, our Tagaro people, just went in there, supported me, saying we are with her. She's our Digna. That was like, that's my people. We are there. We're fighting. Just come and see Malati. That's what we're doing. So this EBS thing that went about me, I guess it went viral. Hey, I am proud Wayaneti, right? That's what it is. I'm Tigraweti, Wayaneti, Tigraweti is the same thing. There's no difference. You can't separate us. And the more you were talking about sport, and this is like sport. It's our heart is beating, faster. Hey, that's sport, you know. So the more they do that to us, the better we are. We're stronger. It's actually uniting us, like I always said. So they're mad because I'm not training them anymore. I'm not giving them the videos, the free meal plans that I used to give, right? But not anymore. So I'm making sure that I deter them from going to my page by specifically saying, this is Tigraweti fitness. I'm doing that on purpose. You know, this is for them to kind of not watch my videos. I don't want to help them because I give free stuff and I don't want this free stuff to help my killers, to get them stronger, healthier, so they can go ahead and kill us. So I don't want that. I'm saying it on your show. I said a lot of stuff on your show. I don't want it. If you're a Harai person, if you're a person that are out there protesting, please don't watch my videos. I don't want any of that. Any protesters that went out there in Denver, DC are killers. Nothing more than that, nothing less. They are killers because they're supporting the killer. What makes you're the the flame, blower. That's what you are. So
So
I'm just saying it out there. My fitness does not apply to you.
Melody, I was thinking Zodi would be upset to respond like with, like, how dare them, but she's just so diplomatic. So after all what they did to us and what they continue to do to our people, and I know today, you were out, speaking up, and somehow, I don't need to lecture you, of course, but what really is shocking to me and sad is in the United States of America, they don't understand that the streets that they walk on, the street that we walk on, are our tax dollar as Americans. We have a First Amendment right to freely exercise our right to free speech, to walk, to drive. And there was about 5 of you guys today out there with Tigray flag, and the next thing I knew was that I didn't see the clip where the Amhara women mace one of you guys or a couple of you guys, but even after that, how do you guys manage to stay calm? I mean, I know you guys were frustrated, but you still were not like doing what they do, which is they attack people, they insult people.
Right.
But how do we, help our people? How are you managing to de-escalate these evil people?
You know what? I'm glad you actually brought that up because I didn't really think about it. But before we got there, well, let me tell you. So first of all, I personally didn't know the protest was happening today. I think a few people had heard about it. I hadn't heard about it until this morning at like 8:30 or something. And I thought, wait a minute. So it's not enough time to have an organized response, but we have to at least show up. So some of my little sisters, not literally like blood sisters, but my little sisters, the young Tagaru sisters, wanted to go. So I picked everyone up. There were 4 of us in my car, and then there were 2 Ahwatna who joined, 2 guys. So there were 6 of us total, basically. And before we got there, we had a pep talk because we know that we're gonna be triggered. We know that they're gonna be saying things that are gonna like touch like the depths of our soul in a bad way. Do you know what I mean? And so we had to figure out like, how do we stay on message? How do we keep saying, making our point clear without getting overly emotional? And I was telling this to the girls, knowing that it was actually going to be me that gets emotional because they're so strong. But, that was our conversation. We literally said like, okay, let's make sure we check each other. Like when we get there, and if one of us is going too far, let's just make sure we grab each other and pull each other back, because we're there to to give a message. You know what I mean? We didn't go there to fight. We didn't go there to, have an altercation. We just wanted to go there and, number one, document it, because I wanted to see these people who are in my community, who I see every day, who maybe come to my business, I go to their business. We've been going to church together, and some of us even have grown up together. I wanted to see them, and I wanted them to look me in my eyes and say the things that they're saying behind screens, So I knew that was going to be triggering. So we had that conversation, and we said, be careful. Be careful. Stay on message. We're there for Nihizbina. We're there for our people. We're not there to prove a point. We're not there to be a tough guy or a tough girl. That's not why we went. We wanted to go and be very clear and pointed and direct. And we did that. We lost it a couple times. I lost it a couple times. But it's expected. These people are out here supporting
you guys. I literally lost it watching you guys.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I know.
You guys were so calm compared to how I was so frustrated just watching the clip, and I was like, I don't have any hair. So I tried to pull my hair. I was like, oh, I don't have any hair.
It's shocking. It's shocking. There was this elderly guy. He was decked out in Eritrean gear, like Eritrean flag and hat. But I'm not sure actually that he's Eritrean in hindsight. I actually think he's Harai was just wearing the stuff, because I was like going off in Tigrinya.
Yep.
Not my best moment, but I went off in Tigrinya, and he wasn't really flinching. So I'm like, did he know what I was saying? You know what I mean? Like, like some of the stuff I was saying was like, and he wasn't really flinching. So I'm like, something's off here. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. I'm not going to lie. It was really hard. And I'm actually glad that we didn't have an organized response, because if there were more of us, by the way, they didn't really have that many people there, if we're being honest. Like, the community here is huge in terms of the general Ethiopian community and the, the various groups. They only had maybe 50 to 75 people there. You know what I mean? Like, it really wasn't that many people. And you know what? There was an air of shame. I felt it. Like, people have masks on and hats on and glasses on, obviously because of COVID and all that, you're pretty covered up. So you can't really see who's who. But before we got there, I don't know how they were doing or how they were feeling, but when we got there and we had the camera and we're just going around, you could tell there was a sense of shame. Like, when people were even saying things like what we were saying, which was, stop, do you support a genocide? Do you support rape of children? Do you support rape of women? Like, we were saying these things, and you could tell that people were kind of like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell they were kind of embarrassed. Yeah, but they didn't go anywhere. They stood there. And then there were a few people who were a little bit violent and kind of pushing us around. And then the girl came out to mace us, who, by the way, is a nurse. I'm like, you have a fiduciary duty to take care of people, and you came out and maced us for standing there. So we intend to follow up with her employer, but it's wild. It's hard to keep your composure. But you know what? When you're fighting for the right thing and you're fighting for your families, you're not out there to prove a point. You know what I mean? We were out there to say, wait, okay, by the way, the woman who maced us, before we got there, I saw some video after the fact, and she spoke, and she made a comment where she was saying, we love our Tagaru brothers and sisters. We love our Benishangul brothers and sisters. I'm like, this is unreal. I watched it after the fact, because when if you love us so much, she had just finished saying that before we got there. We missed that portion of it. But when we got up there, and you know what, in hindsight, I was like, dang, we're kind of crazy, because we walked right into the middle of their circle. Like, we went to the stage. We didn't go to the side or the whatever, you know what I mean? We like walked up onto their stage, onto their platform. And in hindsight, I was like, was that such a good idea? I'm not sure. But anyways, we weren't trying to be violent, but that's how we got attacked, because we were right there. You know what I mean? But anyway, she had just finished saying that. And then we came up and said, there's a genocide in Tigray. Do you support a genocide in Tigray? And then we got maced. It was literally within a couple of minutes of getting there that they got violent with us. And I was thinking to myself, they're doing that in America. Can you imagine what they're doing to our families in Tigray, where there's no law right now? There's no one to protect the people. Exactly. Imagine what their parents and their grandparents are doing to our families. It's wild. So wild.
And hopefully that police officer that talked to you guys is not Amhara origin. Just kidding.
Exactly. You know what's interesting about the police though? Like initially they were really thrown off, right? Because we were like pretty bodacious. Like I said, we walked right into it. And so
Right.
they were kind of like, you got the nerve to do that, Einat. You know what I mean? Their response.
Yep.
And so when they pulled us back, they were mad. But then they could hear us because we didn't stop advocating. We kept advocating. We kept recording. We kept talking
Right.
about what's happening. And when they recognized what's happening, and I told them, I was like, this is the equivalent of the Proud Boys in America. That's who we're dealing with. This is like the KKK of Ethiopia.
Oh
you know what I mean? Like I was telling them, explaining it and breaking it down and what's happening to our families. One of the officers apologized. He's like, I'm sorry. You know, so it's a lot. They just didn't know what the deal is, but at the same time, they had a permit and we didn't, you know, so they had to back us up. But but they gave us permission to go across the street, which we did, and we continued. So
right. So Zodi, I know that you were in the protest today. I did, you know, I'm sorry that you didn't have a chance to watch the video. I was lucky enough to jump right on it and had to watch the video. What she's talking about basically is that
shocked right now just listening to
that. Exactly. So the officer actually initially he said they have a permit. We're going to give you guys a chance to go home. Instead, we're not going to cite you, blah, blah, blah. And then he went on and I'm just like scratching my head. I was like, this officer is dead wrong because he was describing to you guys how they had a permit on the top of the stairs, but then they decide to let them stand on the bottom of the stairs. First of all, as a law enforcement officer, he has no right to override a permit. A permit is a permit, which they are allowed to be on the area they're permitted. The stairs, the sidewalk, the grass, they don't have a permit.
Yeah, wait, let me clear that up for you. Actually, what happened? So this is how you know that things are changing in Tigray, or in all of Ethiopia, by the way. So the top of the stairs were the pro-genocide group. The bottom of the stairs, so it was a mixture of Amhara and Eritreans. On the bottom of the stairs was an anti-Abiy group that had Amhara genocide signs. So there were Amhara on both sides. Like, so that's actually why the police officer initially got mad at us, because he said, we told you to stay at the bottom of the stairs. And we're like, we ain't with them. And Upwork, it was there. He's so funny. He said, we're protesting both. Like, exactly. But that's what happened. So you actually had Amharu protesting Amharu. I was like, y'all are so confused. You know what I mean? I'm like, thank God, Tagaro are united.
Have no idea.
Will never be divided. You will never catch Tagaro half up top and half on the bottom talking about, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is. So that was what he was talking about when he was like, top of the stairs, bottom of the stairs. And so
let's get united.
Exactly. So I'm like, we're not with any of these people. We're here on behalf of our people who have no voice, who are in the dark, who are being murdered and killed in the dark. So yeah, it was wild. But they apologized. They actually apologized to us later.
Well, they better. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. So Zodi, I know you weren't there again, but just hear like
I wish I was. Oh my God, I would have been right there with you. Oh my goodness, that would have been. But you know what? I don't know if I can handle myself. I think my Tigray team would come out. I don't know what. I would have been in jail right now. I mean, I just can't handle it. I can't understand it. I mean, I'll take their masks out to see. That's why I'm not there.
I'm joking. But you know, we made calls though before we went. We had people lined up to, for bonds. We're like, you got bail money just in case. There's no telling. And you know what? It happened. We knew that was going to happen, not from us. We knew they were going to get violent. But my thing is, you came out to support a genocide, okay? And you're also going to attack us. I'm like, you're proving our point that you guys are violent people. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're just proving what we're trying to say here. So I don't know. It was too much. It was just too much. I was really frustrated, by the way, by the Eritreans who were there. It was, it might have been 50-50. Eritreans and Amhara. That actually shocked me because I know righteous Eritreans. I know Eritreans who are standing up, who are speaking out, who know that Isaias has been horrible for their families, let alone what they're doing to our families. You know what I mean? So for me, it was surprising to see that other side of it. You know what I mean? I just didn't, I don't know them in person, but I'm going to tell you, there was this beautiful Eritrean mama. She's like older woman. She came by herself. I learned later she's she's the mother of a good friend of mine. I didn't know, I never met her before, but she came out and she had her flag and she walked right past us. Like she said some words to us, and then she walked past us and went right up to them and was like, Isaias is a murderer, Isaias is a killer. I mean, like up in their face. And I know she knows the community there, you know what I mean? And she was, oh my God, oh my goodness, she was so strong. And then she came and stood with us when they pushed us all out and made us go across the street or whatever. But yeah, that was a shocking thing to me, though, to see how many Eritreans were there.
On the other hand, I'm going to let Zodi jump on this one, but speaking of Eritreans, actually, we're going to show those Eritreans that were out there supporting genocide, that we have many wonderful Eritreans that's going to join us in LA next Saturday on April 17. Zodi, are you planning to be there?
Yes, I'll be right there. Yep, in the front line.
Yes.
All right. I thought I was going to see hesitation. So
I can't wait.
we obviously the unity.
No,
By the
I'm
way,
gonna be there. We're gonna be together.
and I expect a bunch of other people you're going to bring with you from Oakland, Bay Area.
Yes.
So
facing everybody in the motorcycle. I can't wait.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So I believe so far we have about 370 confirmed motorcycle riders that will join us, and those actually are Americans, white, black, Hispanic, and who knows, various mixed race and whatnot. 370.
Wow.
Okay? So ሰለስተ ሚእትን ሰብዓን American Tawisam Sana Ertrawian Tagaran. I'm saying this because Cyberpower Tigray will be airing this show live on satellite throughout the world, including Tigray. So I want to make sure Natana Hwatana Adizalo Tigray, Ethiopia Muluzerlo Tigray, Middle East Tigray, Ingiznia the Yichil, Los Angeles, California, Zmetzerlo Somun Kadam, ሰለስተ ሰብዓን motorcycle ጥራይ ካብኡ ላዕሊ መካይን ቁፅሪ ጋና ይፈለጥና ዘለና አጠቃላይ we're going to have more than 1,000 people. So
wow.
we're gonna so pretty soon they're waiting for me
It's
on a meeting
more.
that I'm going to be jumping in, but
more.
I think what's cool is that we have an amazing Eritreans working with us, and actually they initiated the protest, and we're going to be talking more about it. I'm going to bring like some of the folks I've been working with in LA and from the Eritrean community, from the Tigray community to talk about it. But since we're just talking about Eritreans now, I just thought I'd throw that in there because we have amazing Eritreans out there saying, no, we will not. We're not supporting genocide. We're not supporting Isaias. We're not supporting Abiy Ahmed, and we are against genocide. So I thought Zodi might be able to jump in and just have a say on there because clearly you have a lot of people looking up to you, Zodi, and both of you actually. You can see people are saying they're proud of you. Those of you are posting. I appreciate you. I'm sorry that I'm not displaying each and every one of you, but this will be broadcasted again throughout the world on satellite. So we are grateful to work around with TMH and other Tagara media, of course. So we'll be doing more of this. And those of you who wrote on there saying that you miss me, I've been absent. I'm sorry. I've been traveling a lot. I was all over basically, but I'm back home. I'll try to come out as much as I can. So I love you guys. So Zodi, about LA, I know it's a one-day thing, but having Eritreans and Tagara come together, why is it that we're not able to get the Amhara to come out and to say no to genocide? I know it's not a question maybe for you, but in your mind, how do you? I mean, what does that tell us about the Amhara community?
But well, you know what? At least the ones that are gonna show up to LA are the real Eritreans, not the paid ones or the fake where they just completely wearing all the Eritrean flags all over them. That just shows you how much. The more they wear the flag, the more they get paid. I feel like just they're not, like you said, militant. They didn't even understand Tigrinya, right? So I'm hoping that real Eritreans coming to us because our supporters. But yeah, one thing is I'm noticing that too. Like we should have more Eritreans joining us because I know some Eritreans that support us. We already know that they're not all of them, with head deaf. So I hope, there's more showing up this time to show them because they went through it just like us. They should be side by side with us because this Isaias guy, he ruled them for 30 years. It's an empty ghost town, Eritrea. I don't understand how Eritrea, he's a good president. You know, how do they worship him? How do they say happy birthday to him? This guy is a monster. He doesn't have a birthday. He's evil, you know? So I don't understand that. So they should come out more. They should be equal with us, actually, because they are our neighbors. They're Tigrinya speakers just like us. I mean, I don't understand that. So hoping there will be more of them, more Oromos come out. I mean, come on now. We're fighting the same cause. We have the same enemy. We have the same evil leaders, you know? So let's hope they show up.
So Meleta, I'm going to
I
ask you the
found
same
Oromos to
question.
be much more
Yes,
supportive of our cause, especially even
Correct.
here in the
same
Denver
here.
area. We initially, this protest that happened today was supposed to happen sometime last week maybe, and the Oromo community was willing to stand with us. Like, we were in partnership going to counter protest, you know. And in hindsight, I'm actually glad that didn't happen. There ended up being a tragedy in the community of those pro-genociders, and so they ended up having to cancel, you know, their protest that they were going to have that day, which I'm glad, because we were going to have a large response to that, and I could see that getting really violent easily. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But the Oromo community, I think, because they've been marginalized quite a bit, they are ready to stand up, and they consistently speak out. At least in my experience here, I've seen that a lot. But
You're right.
with
Much
Amharo,
better.
I'm
Yeah.
with you. I am so frustrated and confused with people I know, people I considered my friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, to see them, you know, stand up and say there's no genocide in Tigray, and I'm like, my aunt was killed. My mother's aunt was killed. You know me.
Wow.
We grew up together. We went to church together. We went
Telling
to
you,
school
I feel
together.
the
We
exact
hung out
same
at the park
way.
and played soccer together. I'm like, I'm telling you, someone was killed in my family. Many people. I'm telling you, I
Me
can't reach
too.
my family. I'm telling you, they're telling us they're hungry. They have no access to their money in their own bank account. I'm telling you, you know me. You don't have to guess. You don't have to read a story. You know me. And they still are acting like nothing is happening. That's shocking. That's actually really shocking and painful. And that was another reason I wanted to go today, and why a number of us went today, because we wanted to look these people in their eyes and have them tell us to our face, you know, that they support Abiy Ahmed and they support what's happening in Tigray. And I did find somebody who I know very well, Jumbo, a guy named Jumbo, who's well known in the community. He has an auto dealership. He's like one of the head people at Madhani Alam Church, which we
Ooh.
helped fund and start. Tagaru helped fund it and start it. And he was there. He was there. And I told him, I said, Jumbo, look at me. Look at me. You're telling me there's no genocide in Tigray? How are you out here? Why are you here? And you know what he told me? He said, this isn't the way. This isn't the right way to do this. And
Mm.
I said, the right way? This isn't the right way to do it? Okay. So what's the right way to do it? Should we do what Abby is doing? Kill, pillage, loot, rape people? Is that the right way to do it? Cut off the electricity, cut off the water? Is that the right way to do it? I'm like, we're out here peacefully with signs. I mean, what more right way is there to do it? And he couldn't answer me. He just looked away and gave me his side view. He even had a mask on that said love on one side. And I'm like, this is wild. I don't know what alternate universe these people live in, but for some reason, Amharu, they need to get it together. There were deacons there. There were
And
deacons of Mariam
and
Church
that's
on East
Oh my
Colfax and
God.
Aurora. I'm like, you're a deacon. This is wild. It was wild.
that's why at the beginning, not today, but at the beginning of Cyber, when I was asked to start hosting English, I was emotional and I was very harsh. And I had many of um, our followers and my supporters, Tagaru, reached out to me and advised me to calm myself down. And that helped me, honestly. But I'm going to press on Zodi because she slid my question. So I'm going to come right back at you again.
What was it? Repeat it. Repeat it.
Okay. So, because Melati just respond to it exactly what I expect. So the question
Okay.
was, why are, particularly you were, you had a lot of friends, you know, you
Don't
got a
say
lot
I'm
of followers.
Hariti
So
now. Do not say it.
no, 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 no. I know you who you are. You're not an Amhariti.
Okay,
They
good.
want you to be Amhariti. They wish that you
Yeah,
were Amhariti. Away ni tarat arena.
good.
Misoy ko nun. Good.
Mm,
So those Amhara who utilize your service, your professionalism, being, you know, very athletic and whatnot, they love you to death, and they're pissed off at you for standing for your people, for your country, for your fellow women, Tagaru.
Yeah.
When our sisters, our mothers are being raped, when our boys and our fathers are being executed,
Yeah.
butchered by machete and whatnot. Why aren't they, meaning I'm very specifically saying the Amhara,
Mhm.
okay? If they want us to show love, if they love us, if they care about us, which is some of them I heard them saying, why aren't they coming out joining us saying no to genocide in Tigray? Why are they dancing behind and then getting mad at you personally, standing and speaking up for our people in Tigray? Like, I just can't comprehend. So the question is why. I mean, it's just so many times I'm saying why, and
Yeah,
I'm
you're
going to
right.
continue to say that.
Hmm. Well, it's so weird to me that these are the people that I cared for. Everybody, especially all my clients. I still to this day. I mean, I love them all, but the fact that they're not standing up for the truth. I mean, Amharu, Tagaru, it doesn't matter who you are, just a human being. Stand up for what? If you know me as a trainer, I care so much. That's why they love me so much because I care about each client. Every woman I trained, I love them. I did it from my heart. So don't you think if I am against this war, it's the truth? Do you think I'll stand on the wrong side? You should know better. At least by me, I should be able to change all these people, how do people that I trained. And for like just like Melissa said, she said, they will tell us pray. This is you being too emotional. I'm being
Mhm.
emotional. So you have your father being killed in front of you, your daughter, your whole entire family being killed, and they buried in your own house, in your own backyard. You bury your own family, and you want me to just say, "Oh, Abby is great. Oh, I think we are on the wrong side," and hold the Ethiopian flag? Really? Like, what would you do? It's always, what would you do if you're in my shoes? Just ask yourself that. And then, but then again, you know what? Like, the reason I'm not talking about these people is because I'm tired. Like, we're such common thing where it comes to them, though it's not so much. Common sense is not there. But us, we should not even talk about them at all because I'm so tired of just saying they should do, should do, should do. No, you know what? They shouldn't do anything. I'm done with them. But don't tell me to pray. Don't tell me I'm Zerenya. I'm Zerenya. Like, I am for my people that are dying. You're the one that is choosing and picking and choosing who you cry for, who you go out and protest for. You protesting for Abiy support instead of your own people that are dying support. That's what you're doing, supporting them. What are you out there protesting about? Do you have a message out there? Well, unity. And then here you are macing people. Here you are talking so many Zerenya. You're the one calling me names. I'm not calling you names. I'm just saying, you know what? I need my people saved. I need Eritrean people to get out of our country. We need food. We need all the aids that are coming out from America, from all US aid to go to the Tagaro people, not for you Hegdef people taking our aid. You know, that's what we're talking about. I'm not talking about you being Amhara, you being this, calling us names. We don't have time to call people names right now. We're just trying to get every voice that God gave us, every breath, to be out there for the good, not to insult. We don't care. You know what? We don't want them anymore. I'm gonna pray and speak up, not just pray and sit in my house and pray. That's what they want me to do. All you should do is just pray. Well, I am praying. God is with us. Trust me, God is with us. But we got to go out there and fight for them, show them that we care. Is that too much? You should be by my side, actually. She is for the truth.
Mhm.
So these Amhara people, when I say Amhara people, I'm talking about all the people that went out to the protest for the pro-genocide. Abi is their messiah, right? Those are the people that I'm talking about. They're my enemies. They are our enemies. I don't. And then you know what? We should even forget about them. They don't exist. Now we just need to
Mike,
focus on.
Um,
That's what we should
Mike, I
focus
think
on.
you keep asking why because you can't make sense of evil. That's the problem. You
Can't.
can't make sense of evil. And so we keep saying, why? Why are they doing this? Why aren't they speaking up? Why don't we're seeing the same things? I know we are.
No common sense.
We're all reading the same stories. I know that they're aware of it. I know they are. And
Yes.
so we keep saying, why? Why won't you speak up? I have friends here who still won't speak up till this day. I don't know if they're still friends, but people who won't speak up. And I keep wondering why, because they're people I consider good people, but you can't make sense of evil. That's the problem. You're right, Zodi Hafte. we got to stop, because we'll never be able to understand that, because
just,
we'll never be able to understand evil.
yeah, that's it.
And I'm gonna add to Zodi. Actually, I'm not only speaking for those who came out protesting. I'm also asking why to those who are complicit for not speaking out. Because when you see wrong, you stand up.
Hmm.
I think Melati and I are parents, and as parents, and Zodi, soon, someday, you will have a child.
Yes.
I think in Tigray, which is a culture and the root that I know deeply, um, anybody's child is our child.
Yep.
We build them together, we raise them together, we take care of them together. That's the Tigray people that I know. You know, as Tagaru, even though we spent 17 years, our brothers, sisters, and parents fought for the injustice and brought democracy. And Meleti, earlier you were talking about how the Amhara themselves, they were talking about all this greatness of like Haile Selassie and all these things. And you say, you're lucky TPLF brought you to vote freedom.
Let me tell you the most shocking thing about this. If you just listen to what they're saying, it will blow your mind. Okay, so they're up here and they have, like you said, there's pictures of Haile Selassie. They had pictures of I don't even know who else. They had pictures anyway of people, but what they're talking about is stuff that TPLF did. They're talking about, for example, the dam. They're like,
Yep.
our dam, gala gala, our dam, this, our the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. I was like, you mean the dam that Meles gifted you? Do you mean the dam that TPLF built? I mean, it's shocking. And then they were talking about an election, and I had to tell them, I'm like, TPLF brought you your first election. Wait, did I say first? How about your only election?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Sorry, my thing went off. TPLF brought you your only election. They've never had an election under any of their leaders. Do you know what I mean? So just the irony when you sit there and listen. And I wonder, like, do they know? Like, are they listening to themselves? Or are they intentionally, like, you know what I mean, gaslighting us? And I think it's a combination of both of those things. But yeah, I had to keep telling them, like, you're welcome. The dam that Meles gifted you, that TPLF built, you accuse them of stealing all of this money and robbing Ethiopia blind, but they built you a big dam that's going to make you a major exporter of energy in Africa. You know, I'm like, they high-speed trains. I'm like, they connected the roads. They brought you electricity. They built so many schools. I mean, it's what? It's crazy. I mean, you just feel like you're in another world listening to them speak.
All right. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Sorry. Go ahead. You're muted.
Let me add to that. They're supposed to be Lama right now. They're like 27 years of Lama, right? So I'm hoping all the lights we build, all the buildings we build, all the beautiful trains we have, enjoy, you know. Who did that? Abi only did, you know, all those, the park. I mean, who is he? The old lady that has the gardener? I mean, you know, all he did is just the park, right? So who made it the way it is? Not the Chinese people that are building it right
They have
now.
short
They've
memory
taken
though. They
over
can't remember that.
they've taken over the city. They don't even know it. They're so busy being zerenya to us, killing us.
Yeah.
They don't even see China is taking over. China is stealthily going in and building, taking over at this. They don't even see it because he's so too busy lying to his own people, you know? So we build everything. It's us. You go to all Hayahulat, everything's all owned by Tagaro people. We'll see in a minute. Now the Amharo people want to be with us. Thank you, but no thank you. We're good. We are enough, more than enough. We're about to be 100 million our own Tigray. You know, we're building. If I have to go there brick by brick and build it myself, I am ready. You know, God willing, we have another 50 more years to live, right? So, hey, we are there. I don't care, in my crutches, and I'm gonna build Tigray if I have to by myself with my hands. So we build Ethiopia, right? Imagine we can't build Tigray, we'll build it. So Lama or not, let them enjoy the Burhan right now, you know, if that's what they have. If this is their Burhan, I don't know what, you know, because they keep telling me 27 years. Okay, it's better now, I guess.
well, that I think that is like like I remember like whenever I visit Tigray, like a dog from distance will bark, will bark, will bark, and then as you get closer and get closer, it gets scared and scared, and the more they're scared, the louder the dog barks, and the moment you get
Yeah.
closer, it tries to figure out like where to hide. And right now, what I see from the Amhara is precisely the same. It's like for me, you know, I was talking to a friend just a couple of days ago. That's like we were using just kind of like a discussion, like scenarios and whatnot. I was just like, think of this way: would you ever trust a dog to watch a meat? If you ask, if you have a dog watching the meat that you lay out, the moment you turn around, that meat's gone. And that's what I see. What the sadly, what the Amhara has been to, not just the Tagaros, but there's a clip that I'm gonna actually. I know I say like I had a bunch of clips that I don't want to show. I want to show. I'm kind of going back and forth, but there's one clip. It's probably about a minute and a half or two that I'm gonna show it, but I won't show it right away because I want to warn our viewers because it's very graphic and it happened to paramedic drivers basically in the Roma region. They were driving like an ambulance and they attack and literally slaughtered them like just inhumanely. It's just shocking. But those we got a good number of new people watching us, so I want to clarify. I'm reading a lot of the questions, a lot of the comments on the column. I'm not posting all of them obviously, but one of the questions that came up was what's TPLF. So for those of you who are not familiar with the acronym, TPLF is actually Tigray People Liberation Fighter. Back in the mid 1970s, they rose up to overthrow the Ethiopian dictator Mengistu Haile Mariam because of the oppression towards minorities in Tigray and Eritrea, which Eritrea had a movement already. And 13 years prior to the Tigray People Liberation Fighters form a unity and help to, of course, have Eritrea become independent country in 1993. In 1991, the Derg era was eliminated thanks to the heroes of Tagaru that spent 17 years of fighting. And since then, they brought Ethiopia into democracy, into having election, parliament system that voted and elected representative from every state within Ethiopia. Ethiopia is divided into 10 states. It was 9, but then recently in the last couple of years, a 10th state was formed. Article 39 of the Ethiopian Constitution allows for any state to secede from Ethiopia if it desires to. Tigray did not ask for that, did not wish for that initially. Tigray simply uphold a constitution by holding an election for a regional government. I don't want to linger this, but just for those of you American who joined us, who are asking the questions, TPLF simply stood for the Tigray People Liberation Fighter to defend Tigrayans, and Tigrayans fought throughout history when Europe colonized Africa, Italy entered Ethiopia through Tigray, and the decisive fighting in Tigray took place, which in 1889, the Italians were defeated. They came back in 1936 and 1941, when over 3,000 Italians were taken out in Adwa, which the Amhara loves to celebrate and call it their history, which is in Tigray, which if it was a piece of paper like this, they will rip it and take Adwa out and then leave Tigray in pieces.
Yep.
So that's the history of it. With that, I have zero faith. I have zero hope that the Amhara would actually ever respect humanity at face value. If you, both of you or one of you disagree, jump right in, please. Attack me. You don't have to worry about my feelings.
No, I just want to add on to what you said, and to make it even simpler for people. TPLF, Tigray People's Liberation Front, is a political party that played an outsized role. It was the freedom fighters who played an outsized role in defeating the Derg and keeping Ethiopia together. And they also played an outsized role in the government moving forward because they played an outsized role in saving the country. And so people often get confused and they wonder and they say, well, this minority group was ruling Ethiopia for 27 years. And I'm like, that minority group is the group that defeated the Derg and that saved Ethiopia, present day Ethiopia, and kept it to be what it is, and gave Oromo people the right to speak their language. They were not even allowed to speak their language. Okay, so these people, they are heroes actually, and they are heroes. And you know what? That doesn't mean that there was nothing wrong with, during the time of their leadership when they were when they had an outsized role in the government. That's not what we're saying. But yeah, I think it's just important to clarify that. And then as far as Amharu, I think history. The problem with Tagaru is that we keep having renewing our faith in people and accepting apologies and thinking we can start over again, and we keep being attacked. There's been a genocide on the people of Tigray roughly every 20 to 30 years. My grandmother has lived through 3 bombings by her own government. You know what I mean? I was born in Sudan because the people of Tigray were being bombed by their own government at that time as well. So at some point, you have to stop and recognize that it's not going to change. It's just not going to change. So then what do? You need to come up with a new plan. Somebody said, it was a young person who kept saying that, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Okay, Tagaru, we have to wake up. This isn't going to change. So we need to do something different. Is that Article 39? Possibly. The irony is TPLF was the most Ethiopianist party of them all. They love Ethiopia. They wanted to stay connected to Ethiopia. They wanted us to stay connected to Ethiopia. And that's who Abiy chose to attack and ridicule. By the way, Abiy was a part of that whole government coming up. So if they're the enemies of Ethiopia, then so is Abiy, because he rose through those ranks. But that's just my 2 cents.
I couldn't say it any better.
Oh my gosh. Me too. So I don't know Abiy that much, right? Back before he came to power, but I know a little bit that
he was the number one
part of that. Yeah.
Just so you know.
Right. So he was part of the headache, right? So how is all these people just completely like a bunch of dogs on TPLF when he was one of them? He came with them. They appointed him. So I don't understand when this is just all of a sudden that's just he is a saint. He has nothing to do with it. Like his fingers didn't touch anything. He's pure. He's Jesus, right? So I just don't understand that part. And us Tagaru, we still have a lot of Tagarus that say, I mean, recently a Tigrawati person came to me and said, in your protest, out of all places, and then she said, what? I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't get when she said, I said, well, we are protesting. What do you think we're protesting about? This person, she came to the protest and she told me, like, we shouldn't be fighting hate with hate, right? Or we shouldn't hate. I said, well, I guess your family didn't die. Obviously, you are from a place in Tigray that is a lot of them are dead. So if this is even, how can you say let's forgive them? We are not gonna. We're not gonna. We can I said forgiveness for ourselves, just for ourselves, but not because we love them or we want to be back with them or we want to be friends with them or neighbors even. Nothing. We have to learn from the past. I myself, this is the third. I was one of those refugees that went to Sudan when I don't remember the years, but then in the 80s. I went to Sudan. I was one of those people that went to Sudan as a refugee. So this is the third one, I guess, I'm seeing in war, right? Mike, the same thing with you. I was one of those refugees that went to Sudan. So enough is enough. Now we are done. We already made it into a beautiful country for them. Now let's build that from scratch. We did it before. We can do it again, right? So it's nothing. The whole entire Hizbi is building it now. We're not going to just leave it to TPLF alone. We are going to be a brand new digital Wayanes building it. And if anybody has something to say, they can say all day, every day. We do not care. I didn't come to your house and tell you how to clean it. Don't come to my house and tell me how to clean my house. So who cares? We can hate. They're killing us. How can you be falling in love with somebody or say somebody is killing you? Oh, isn't this where it got us? Yep. This is why we're repeating this, because we keep saying, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. And I am a positive person. Everybody knows me, but I can't be positive anymore. We're seeing so many crazy stuff as we speak. and I cannot be nice anymore because this is where it got us.
Actually,
Being nice.
you don't realize it, but you are positive, but you say it the factual way. The difference is, see, they attack us with lies. We do fact checks on them, and we tell the truth. And when we do that, we no longer have that soft mindset that they're used to from us. So now what we did is we set up boundaries, and we will not advocate hate. We will not advocate attack to civilians, but those, including Abiy Ahmed, they will not be able to wash their hands and walk away on the thick blood of our people. Number one.
No
Number
more.
two,
No more.
he lied for 5 months saying Eritrean troops are not in Tigray. And then when America got on his throat and told him, stop lying, get them out, he said, I'll get them out. Now he's providing them Ethiopian uniform. What's sad, however, is many of the Eritrean mothers and fathers who didn't even have a proper way to say goodbye to their children have been dead in Tigray. And I've said this before in the show, and I'm going to say it again tonight. What's sad is that at the early stages of the fighting, so many Eritrean soldiers were dead along the roads of Tigray in the fighting. And literally, I know it sounds funny, but it's not. Even, like, literally, I was being told the hyenas actually were picking and choosing someone who's got more meat, which is Amhara, happens to be the chubby ones. And they literally will stagger and go because a lot of the Eritreans, they've been starved to death by their own government. What Eritreans have received from Isaias Afwerki is 30 years of movement to bring freedom, democracy that they have never seen. 30 years of dictatorship from Isaias. 60 years. 60 years of suffering. 60 years of rape and massacre throughout Eritrea, and those who try to survive and make it out of the country, how many of them have perished on the road? But before we end the segment, I know you guys been awesome. We get like still a lot of like positive comments. There's a few that are questioning and doubting what we're saying. They've been saying, show us proof, show us video. How do we believe there's genocide happening in Ethiopia, in Tigray, in Oromia, in Wollo, in Beshangul, and I mean, I can go on and on and on. So I want to show you guys, this video is 2 minutes and 15 seconds. For those of you who cannot stand graphic, I'm going to let you know, honestly, it is graphic video. It's 2 minutes and 15 seconds. If you need to take a water break, bathroom break, if you want to mute your screen, please do so, because the video that you're about to see is beyond comprehensible. It's beyond shocking. So be warned, if you have children near you, please have the kids run to the kitchen, grab like a snack or something. I don't know. But in any case, it is shocking. It is not in Tigray. It's in the Oromia region. But we should know that the fact that it's not just the Amhara soldiers, it is the tribe, the Amhara, are determined to eliminate any Ethiopian besides themselves. There's also a video. I don't know if you guys had a chance to hear about it, but it was leaked recently in the Amhara region, the regional government in Amhara, saying we need to figure out a way to bring our Amhara from the Oromia region, and then we need to massacre the Oromos within the Amhara areas, but make sure we're not caught. And then we need to round up the young Tagaru and slaughter them at night and destroy them, but make sure we're not caught. I mean, this is the kind of discussion that they've been having. And when it leaks, they have no way of hiding it. In Addis Ababa, last but not least, we have Jaganu Tagaru athletes walking with Tigray flag, representing Tigray, representing justice. Imagine in Mekelle, the Amhara soldiers were removing Tigray flag from walls and whatnot. Why is it that the Tigray flag is terrifying the Amhara? Because they know our strength. With that, I am going to share the video. So again, if you guys are not interested and wanting to see this video, you got 10 seconds. There's a video. I'm going to play it. Again, be warned, these are human beings and the killers are the Amhara youth and adult, of course. So I'm going to stop it because the next one is too graphic, and on the bottom of the screen I watch you, Meleti. So it's beyond comprehensible. But for those who are questioning, who are doubting the inhumane behaviors and actions by the Amhara, make no mistake about it.
It's so devastating. It's so devastating to watch. And I know I know that's not in Tigray, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's so out of line. It's so inhumane. You know, I want to call them animals, but animals don't do this. So what? Who are these people? Where did they come from that they're so cruel? I can't even watch it. I can't even watch it. I have to look away. And then I feel bad that I look away because our families can't look away. They're stuck in that. They're stuck there, experiencing it and watching it. They tell us that those bodies are rotting on the street. Intentionally, they throw the bodies into the street so that people can be afraid. You know what I mean? That's like psychological terrorism. And they can't look away. They're stuck there smelling it, getting sick from the smell and of dead bodies. It's just, it's really devastating.
I couldn't say it any better. So Zodi, I know you guys, both of you, have been great. We're gonna wrap it up. So maybe in Tigrinya, we could have some positive summarizing closing statement to our people, not just in the diaspora, but throughout the world. Tagaru who are in pain, Tagaru who are also looking up to us. And I mean this because a lot of people do message me and they say they are proud of us, Tagaru, particularly those of us in the United States, what we've been doing in the protests, what we've been doing pressuring the US government. They are grateful. So I'm going to let you summarize it, like I say, and then I'm going to let you Meleta Hafte, and then I'm going to finish it up. So jump right in. It's you, Zodi.
You want it into Grinya?
I think they would appreciate that, and you can do both.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do both, so I can get a little bit. But yeah, so كلهم تجارب زلهم كلهم حدا حديهم مبزحتنا نحزن إنان we are weak. Please don't. You have to be strong for our people because our people are the ones living through it. Imagine if we're weak, imagine them. So now أمسي تعشمر خونم زبانم خونم like we have to be strong. We have to be their backbone for them. So كن تقنع لنا أنا حمانتي أبز خوي ناسي. We are doing a lot of work, so don't underestimate what we're doing. Each voice, each person that's saying something, posting something, that means a lot. So even anybody, even Amhara people that are posting something about us, say thank you to them. Anybody that's helping us. So, and get out there. Like if you go to the doctor's office, talk about Tigray, talk about what's going on. Keep it everywhere. I mean, we want the neighbors to know about it. If you're in the street, you know, wear t-shirts like this as much as you can. And just be strong because and at the end of the day, I know Sabi Motuna Logan. You already know Abi is already going crazy. So it's the end of the road for him. And we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me, it's there. We see it. But let's not be clouded by what's going on to our people. The best thing we can do is stay strong. I am very, 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 you know, I think confident about that. So, Ajahum.
Thank you.
I think I said it right.
Thank you, Zogri Hafte. That was beautiful. There's not a lot I can add to that. I just want to, you know, أحواتنا أب سودان زلهم أجهم أبقول لهم لنا. Just be strong. we're getting close. Up to guys allo hawatna, aditatna, dekna. Everybody who's there, ajahum, we're fighting for you. We're speaking for you. And people are listening. I can't tell you at the protest today how many people walking by and understanding the dynamic and what was happening, the look they would give to those people who were the pro-genociders, if you could see it. I mean, they're just like the nerve. That's what these people are here to talk about, you know, when we would tell them about our children and what's happening to even the young boys who are being executed and thrown off of a cliff like they're not important, like they're not valuable. Well, they are valuable. Hawatna, you are valuable, and we will keep speaking up, and we will not stop until this ends.
Man, you guys are so good. Now you left me with nothing.
Yeah, right.
No, like seriously, that's beautiful. I really appreciate it. Especially ملت هفته ያው ኣብ ምቁቋም ውዕል ክለብ ማዓንትስ እንደገና መፅኺ ደው ኢለ within half hour ready going ክመፅኺ ከምዚ ክትሓበርናና መልእኽቲ ሞራል ንህዝብና. I don't even know how to express it any better than the way both of you guys did. I am as always grateful to be my blood to be from Tigray, and I'm ready to do whatever to serve the Tigray people and the Tigray state, and along everyone in the diaspora who has been fighting on the street, on social media, through co-workers on the street, like Zodi say. I am so proud and I'm so grateful to be part of this movement, to be part of this community. We will continue to fight for Tigray and for Tagaro for justice. It's simple. Leave Tigray alone. We need nothing more. We need nothing less other than to have our people be left alone in their homes in Tigray. We did not cross over borders to Eritrea, to the Amhara region, to anywhere in Ethiopia. So to say the least is Amhara, stop speaking with both end of your mouth. It is simply unacceptable for you to be this evil. So ኣብ ዓለም ዘለኹም ተጋሩ ኣነ ያው ብጣዕሚ ዝገርመኒ ምለት ሓፍትና ኣብ ሱዳን ተወሊዳ እቲ ትግርኛ ተዛረበቶ ንሱ ካብኡ ሓደ ነገር ክንምሃር ተኮይና እንኳን ኣብ ስደት ኣብ ትግራይ ኣብ ሱዳን ተወሊዳ ኣብ ትግራይ ተወሊዶም መናእሰይ ኮይኖም መፅኦም ሓደ ኣሕዋትና ኣለው እዮም ትግርኛ እንኳን ከም ተዛረቡ ዝረስዕዎ ኣለው እዮም ግን ንሶም ኣይንርስዖም ኢና ንሕና ንኦም እዮም ክነቅርቦም እንታይ ክብል እየ ግን ናይ ብሓቂ ተጋሩ ምዃና ትግራዊት ምዃና እቲ ትግርኛ ብፅሬት ከመይ ገራ ተዛረበቶ ሞራል ዝበሃል ንሱ እዩ ክብሪ ድማ ንክልተይኽን ኣሕዋት ይቀኒየለይ I know ኣብ ሎስ አንጀለስ hopefully ኣብ ካሊእ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ናይ ደንቨር እውን ኣሎ እዩ ክመፅእ እየ ኣርባዕተ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ዘሎ so there's 4 protests April 17 Los Angeles on April 29th and 30th pending in Seattle Washington Denver Colorado will be on the 7th that is May 7th so I will be to each one of those Bay Area is also planning to have one on May 22nd, 21st, and 22nd. And those next 4 protests, I will circle to all of those just like I have been. I will not stop fighting for our people. So I'm like mixing everything, but بتقرنيا that's welcome to أيهوات. كم ديجرنا نقعنا حدا لبنا مرسنا. سكاودمي أسدت تفعلنا بقى. عين الرخاء بنرنا أنا تجار ببزحنا. هيزجن بحورات ولا أنت تفعلنا تجارو بزحاتنا. لبنا حدا إيو صرياتنا. نسب عين دفرن. نسب حماق نجار عين منن. نسب حماق نجار كوسحه. صلاة عين قبرن. صلاة نجور اللون حماق الصرحة. እግዚአብሔር محرر نابنا عنا. نزارب ما أو عالم زر لهم تجارو. السعودية العربية تعصيركم مكرات رخوز لهم. أبكالي بطاطاتون كمتات مكراتات النهاية. إذا ساقم زيو ترخو وزر لهم دحان كوج حي صباحنا مسواق حي كلنا تجارو. أفتقراي مسينا على ملء زلنا. نتقراي تزحزلنا تهز خسارة. تتفادى هزي زي كون موتة نسو يزحزلنا. نسو تزموت هزمنا جين دحراي ناف مريت تግራይ مستملسنا تسرق النبرات إساياس مالت سرق شروع إساياس مالت تقدد خدان سرق مانكاس سرق زي نحنا أينا دنا ديو بوتات ما دراما نسرح لينا إتنا هزمنا دم ناي تግራዋይ صريات الدوتات صريات حوات استوغودنا استقطرنا استدفارنا حواتنا صريات حواتنا ግን نزال عالم زي نرسعو خوينو نحزب ኤርትራ تلب زلوا ጎን ኮይና ከነበርና በሰላም ትልብ ዘይብሉ እቲ ጀኖሳይድ ናይ ሞት ጀኖሳይድ ማለት ተቀተለ ህዝቢ ዝጭፍር ዘሎ ማንም አምሓራ ኾነ ትግራዋይ ግን ጽባሕ ንብሆ ሕነ ምፍዳይ ዘይኮነስ ብሕጊ ዝኾነ ብሕጊ ዘይኮነ ብሓይዲ ሓደ ብሓደ ናብ ጉድጓድ ስካዛኣቱ ከም ዘይንድቅ ዝተጋሩ ጉራ ኣይኮነን እዚ ሒዝና ግን ትዕግስቲ የድልየና እዩ ኣብ ዝኾነ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ክንወፅእ እንተለና ሕጊ ሓሊና تي ملقتنا خنرسع يبلنا ملقتنا تأيو قفعير تقراي سرح زلو بتميت بخالي نقرات خالي ترف أبقاسات بيت كريستيان نقتلو تكاي أنستيو ناي بيت كريستيان زقلقلا حدار زي قبرا دنقل كوينن بيت كريستيانات زكايدا زدفرو زلو زيوم رسحات ياو نحزنين انتبلنا قليل زرب أيو جن دكاسة يسنا ليتي كراز وقنا نفسنا بحزننا إحواتنا أفسدت كوينا تهذلتنا عن تعدل أو قلناهم كوينا بسخاتكم 24 ساعات تيدك أسنا قارسنا أيو صباح نقوغن كنزف سينا خمزينا إلكم تقارو كتحاسوا يولكم أفسدت زلنا تقارو قلت سلسة سرح ورا زين سرح مهورات قلنا أنا تمسقنين أنا انكوع تسددنا انكوع نتقراي تفارينا انكوع بزحنا الله سلازيو ناخاتكم صباح نقول تقراي كم مقرنا خمنا البعو بوتات كتتاراتورو أي قبقكم لينا إذا نوركو ياو بعالم ملو إذا ما بساتلايت قرنا خنا محلال فلكم هنا ياو اتماعاتات ساعاتو كيريرنا بلنا بعالم ملو سلازلهم بخمس ساعات لكم ياو خدانا قد سلازخواني إذا نوركو زربا ينوحل لكو حواتي إذا نقاش حواتنا لما أنت خمزي قرن مسانا تحاوسن نهزبي تقراي أفسد زلنا أب إثيوبيا زقفع زلو مراد زهاوقو كاب 70 نلعلي أب إثيوبيا أب أديس أبابا تأسير زلو تقراواي تشوقينو زلو تقراواي صوحنكو ناتو مفتحين تأيو مستم رمهزي مسانا خوينم زقالس زلو مستم صري لب زلوم إرتراوين وقلنا خوينم زواقو زلو وق مالت أفسدت مسانا ناوصو ارمجا زوصو زلو مسانا مالت إزي وق سرحو زلو سرح حابرنا نخلهم يغني لنا ولكو أو كسر جزيء ياو حصرنا بنا كنحوسكم هنا سكاب نرخب أو كسر جزيء يغني اللي كولاتي هذا اللي يقول لكم حوات. Thank you so much guys, have a good night. Thank you.